My family kept borrowing my stuff without asking, so I started borrowing things back. The car was too far. My family operates on a simple system. What's mine is theirs. What's theirs is theirs. I've had a job since I was 16, moved out at 22, bought all my own furniture, my own appliances, my own everything. And slowly, piece by piece, it all ended up at their houses. Mom borrowed my KitchenAid mixer 2 years ago, $400 still on her counter. My sister borrowed a dress and returned it ruined. My dad borrowed my power drill and sold it at his garage sale for $15. I saw it with my own eyes. Every time I asked for anything back, I was being difficult or obsessed with money or my personal favorite, acting like we're not family. They didn't even ask anymore. They just took, and I let them because fighting felt like losing anyway. Then I came home from work and found a note on my empty TV stand. My brother needed it for his new apartment. He didn't ask. He just wrote that he'd return it eventually. I sat with that note for about an hour. Then something clicked. They'd been taking from me for years because I let them. Because being the difficult one felt worse than being the doormat. Not anymore. I started with Mom. Walked into her house on a Sunday, went straight to her china cabinet and took her fancy serving platter set, the one she inherited from Grandma. She came running. "What are you doing borrowing these? I have friends coming over. You can't just take those." "Why not? Family shares, right?" She sputtered something about those being different. I put them in my car anyway. Then my sister, her Coach purse, $600 of leather she wouldn't shut up about for 3 months. I took it from her room when she wasn't looking. She blew up my phone. 14 texts, 3 voicemails. I sent back 1 message. "I'll return it when I'm done with it." She called me a thief. I called her a hypocrite. Then Dad. The Callaway golf clubs he's obsessed with. I took them from his garage on a Thursday. He called threatening police. I said, "Great. We can talk about the drill you sold that belonged to me." He hung up. That Sunday, they called a family meeting. All 4 of them sat across from me like it was an intervention. Mom said I was being childish. Dad said I was making a mountain out of a molehill. My sister said I clearly had issues. My brother sat there silently like he wasn't the one who started this by stealing my TV. They wanted me to apologize, to return everything, to admit I was wrong and go back to being the one they could take from. I looked at all of them. "You've been doing this to me for years. I do it for 1 week and suddenly it's a crisis." My mom said, "That's different." "How?" She couldn't answer. None of them could. They just stared at me like I'd broken some unspoken rule. And I realized they were never going to get it. Not unless I did something they couldn't brush off. So I did. The next morning I drove to my mom's house before anyone was awake, took the spare key off the hook by the front door, got in her car, drove it to work, parked it at my place that night. For a full week, I drove my mother's car like it was mine. The call started Tuesday. Mom, Dad, sister, brother, all 4 of them over and over demanding I bring it back. By Friday, Mom left a voicemail saying she was calling the cops. I called her back. "Do it," I said. "And when they show up, I'll tell them about the mixer you've had for 2 years, the drill Dad sold, the TV sitting in my brother's apartment right now. We can all go down to the station together and figure out who stole what." The line went dead silent. "That's not the same thing," she said quietly. Explain how she couldn't. I returned the car on Sunday, drove it right back